Well, I had full intentions of spreading spreading fertilizer on wheat today, because I finally got a chance to sit down last night and put a plan together on all that. But about noon, apparently we had a severe pressure change somewhere in the atmosphere, and the wind picked up, and it's been gusting about 35-40 miles an hour, which is way too fast to be spreading fertilizer in, because that'll blow it everywhere. So hopefully tomorrow, it's supposed to be colder, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it should help firm the ground up. It's only supposed to be in the mid-30s, but it's supposed to be sunny, so that'll help. But anyway, still have to get the 1955 out and swap the PTO shaft over to 540 and get the spreader down here and grease it. And the nice thing is, now that it's my spreader, I can cut the PTO shaft down so that I can actually hook it up to the tractor without having to slide my drawbar all the way out, because I hate having the drawbar slid all the way out while you're spreading, because that extra 4 or 5 inches, 6 inches, whatever it is to get it. Actually, I think it's 6 inches. I think every hole is 2 inch. I think every hole is a 2-inch gap, or a 2-inch jump. But that extra bit of drawbar hanging out back there while you're spreading, it makes a big difference. It beats the living crap out of you and the tractor both. So I got this thing serviced yesterday, or last night, and fixed. There was a oil leak that developed right here. So I got rid of all these fittings in here. Were originally brass. There was a reducer bushing in here, and then a brass close nipple, and then a T, and then a brass 90-degree female pipe thread, and then another nipple going into this check valve that keeps the oil draining back out of the turbo. This and this are still brass because they're special fittings, and then this is brass because it's a inverted flare fitting. But I eliminated, this is a hex nipple, 3/8 to 1/4 inch pipe. So I eliminated the reducer bushing, I eliminated the close nipple, and now that's all one fitting. So I eliminated a nipple out of here, eliminated a nipple out of here. I basically eliminated 3 fittings out of the whole thing, which every fitting you can eliminate is one less spot to leak, and replaced them all except for this one and that one because they're special. Replaced everything with steel so that you can actually get it tight and it will stay tight. I hate pipe thread. Pipe thread sucks. In any situation where something has to be clocked, pipe thread sucks. Sucks. Terrible. O-ring Boss and JIC 10 times better than pipe. But that's all set up for pipes. That's what it's got to be. My original intent, and this was actually I think this was the 3rd iteration of stacking up fittings. I had this T turned where it just was coming straight out to make it where you didn't have to pull the pump or pull the lift pump off to get to that check valve in case you ever needed to do anything to it, and it all did fit. I had it all together, but this was like really close, almost rubbing, and then I was worried a harmonic vibration might, so I put it back the way they had it, but just with steel fittings. But she's ready to rock and roll. I probably should have videoed that, but I wasn't expecting it to turn into a project, so I didn't video it, and then it turned into a project. So we'll pull that thing forward and get the PTO swapped. And drag the spreader down here and grease it so that it's ready to go. technically my first full day soil sampling at work. I went out for a couple half days a couple weeks ago to get some grape ground done. That was a mess. You wouldn't think the grape vineyards would get muddy. That's a lie. But anyway, when I was out today driving back to the farm to unload everything that I'd pulled today, and drove past a little farm kind of on the outskirts of a little backwoods town, and off there in their little, looks like it used to probably be a cow lot, but it's not no more. There sits a pretty decent looking old Oliver 5, I think it was a 5, or sorry, not a 5, I think it was a 470 PTO spreader. Still had all the paint, you could still read all the decals, and this was from the road, so I mean, it must be fairly decent. Of course, everything looks decent from 50 yards away, but then down the road a little ways more, past a place I've been past 100 times, and apparently today the vegetation was died down just right, and you could look and see kind of through all the crap. There sits an Oliver number 11 spreader. That one, there wasn't a lick of paint left on it. The only reason I know it was a number 11 is because number 11s have kind of a very distinct look to them. But 2 Oliver spreaders in one day, about 15 minutes apart from each other. Not a bad day. I don't really have any interest in the 11 because, I don't know, ground drive spreaders don't really, number 11 spreaders just don't really yank my crank. But that 570 was sitting there with weeds growing up around it like it ain't been used in a while. And not that I need another manure spreader, especially since I don't even really have any animals that make manure that needs spread. But might swing past there one afternoon and see if maybe we might be interested in letting that one go. I'm guessing that ain't been used in a while since there was a pretty significant amount of weeds growing up around it. You can pick it up for cheap. Of course, you may walk up to it too and it may be a complete pile, so. But from the road, as far as manure spreaders go, it looked pretty decent. Said, even if I did buy it, I'd still keep the new idea because A, I'm kind of partial to new idea equipment. I think it's kind of cool, and B, I love that spreader. I got enough work put into that one. That one's got some soul to it now. One of these days I need to finish it, get all the green done on it, fix all the rust in the sheet metal back in around the beaters. I've got so many someday projects, it's not even funny. there's that. I'm gonna put some fuel in this thing real quick, and we'll go get hooked up to the spreader and pull it down here. Gotta remember too, before we take this back up, I gotta pull up a book and see where this guy needs to be set, because that's kind of important. But just need to give her some grease. Oopsie. Hold on, radio. God, that's one of the things I hate about YouTube. Can't tell the difference between something accidentally playing in the background and something intentionally put in the video. So they'll ding you for it even if it's not supposed to be there. It's stupid. I suppose the odds are. I'll be damned. I didn't figure that one would take. Alright, everything's greased. Surprisingly, I only had 4 fittings grease fittings I had to change. This one wouldn't take it all, and judging, I don't even know how I got it out, because that's what it looked like. The hex is basically rusted off of it. I'm guessing that one hadn't been taken for a while, judging by the lack of grease on the outside of the bearing that all the other bearings have because of over greasing. But I had that one that flat out wouldn't take, and I had 3 that were taken, but they rusted so bad that you ended up with more on the bearing than in it, so I changed them. So with that, we can go ahead. Teeter, where you at? Why you hacking? What's got you hacking? Yeah, first you're eating grass, now you're hacking. But you're acting fine, so I don't think you're sick. But anyway, got to shorten the PTO shaft a little bit so that I can run with my drawbar sucked all the way in. It'll hook up now, but it's like right at the end, so probably just need to cut probably 4 inches out of it to be safe-ish. Alright, 4 inches cut off of both halves of the shaft. Got plenty of room to hook up now, and should still have, measuring it out, somewhere in the neighborhood of between 10 and 11 inches of engagement, which is way more than enough. And the last thing I want to try to do, as long as they're not stuck, I caught this while I was greasing it. This cylinder looks like, judging by the edge of the tire here, under certain situations must be able to bounce over and rub the edge of that tire. Ooh. And we might just let it because I don't think those pins are coming out. The bottom one might. Maybe. Well, the R pin will come out. Okay, the bottom pin will come out. The top pin, not looking so hot, but if we can at least get the bottom pin out and put a few washers in there, to keep it pushed over that way. That top, there's no way. That thing is gonna have to get cut out. Although we might have one. I don't know if that's a project I want to get into right now because there's other stuff I got to get done today. But that bottom one is loose, luckily, because the cylinder's leaking, so that's going to have to get rebuilt at some point. Let's get that one out of there. Get a pry bar so I can pick up on this tire. Get that out of there, get some washers on it to keep it pushed over, and hopefully it'll stay out of the tire. Alright, this should be interesting. Well, that would figure. I might have to have Dad come help me with this because this might take two hands. Yeah, this is going to take two hands. I'm going to have to get Dad. Alright, hopefully that stops that cylinder. It should. From getting over into the tire. They didn't leave you a whole lot of clearance there. So, last thing I should have to do is go online, look at the book, and get my rate chart for that guy real quick. Okay, I lied. There's one more thing I want to do. These chains need a little more tension put on them, and the tensioners are stuck. So I'm not even gonna ask nice. We're just gonna torch bolts out and replace them because, you know, that's the best thing to do. Already checked to make sure I got bolts, so we should be good. Damn it. Can't be stuck if it's liquid. I always thought it was funny on these because obviously for this one you jump your chain back and forth to change speeds, and rather than making some sort of spacer, they just stack up a bunch of flat washers. I mean, don't get me wrong, it gets the job done, obviously, but I also think part of the problem is this chain is a wee bit stretched. But we can cross that bridge at a later date. For now, she just needs to run. It's tighter. Okay, so this one's gonna be a little funny for now. So there's the sprocket, and as you can see, the inner bearing race kind of shit the bed when I tried to drive the bolt out because the bolt was rusted in. And it doesn't really bode well for spreading fertilizer tomorrow. So I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm pretty sure Rural King sells these, but if I want to get fertilizer spread tomorrow, so I can go get one at a later date. But to get me up and going tomorrow, I made this little sleeve here that just so happens to slip inside the bearing balls. And then we can put her together like this with that sleeve on there, like so. And then our stack of washers. So a washer on the outside and washers on the inside to keep it upright. And then, actually I think I only need, nope, I'm gonna need one more washer. Hold on. So we can stack that up like that. For a new bottle of NICs, you can't get to the good stuff in this one anymore. They never make the brushes in these things actually long enough to touch the bottom, so you end up with like a 1/4 inch down there that you can't actually physically get to. And then we can just run her like that. Look at that. Just have to keep it on. Of course, it's not like I'm going to run it for an extended period of time like that. But remember, kids, if it's stupid but it works, it ain't stupid. Sweet. Alright, that should be the flow divider settings according to the book. There's one more for ammonium nitrate, but probably not going to be spreading any of that because I'm pretty sure that that's what you can't even get anymore, because isn't that what they were making bombs out of, was ammonium nitrate? I'm pretty sure. I think. Can't do that anymore. But anyhow, that should be set right, because blended fertilizer 2.5, and I believe you go off the front of this bracket. I don't see any tick marks in it, and the book didn't specify, so I'm guessing the front of that at 2.5, so that should be good. Also for lime, the book said to remove the back part of the flow divider, but I don't know how you do that because it's all one weldment, unless there was an update or an older version of this that was 2-piece or something, but no idea. So anyhow, should be ready to rock and roll as far as I know. Chains are tight, it's greased, tires are checked, everything rolls over, there's oil in the gearbox. As long as it doesn't fall in half when we load it, which it shouldn't, everything should be good. So I guess we will catch you guys hopefully tomorrow. It finally calmed down now, but I'm glad I didn't try to spread because there was way too much yet to do to this thing to get anything done today, so it needed to be gone over decent. So we'll either spread tomorrow or Thursday, depending on if the body shop calls tomorrow and my truck's done. Because if my truck's done tomorrow, I'm gonna go get my truck, because it's had a shop getting the grill and bumper and stuff fixed from where they or where I got backed into last December. So regardless, we'll catch you guys spreading some fertilizer on some wheat. All right, it's Thursday, it's about 6:30. I wanted to get on this earlier, but right after work I went and got a load of fertilizer, and then at 5 o'clock I had to meet a guy about a piece of ground that hopefully I'll know by Sunday if I'm gonna get. Anyway, now we're at 6:30. Before we take off, I just want to make sure sprocket ratio 1160, which is what we're on, and basically this was 60 pounds, and shoot, we'll have to swing by the 1-ton real quick so that I can I need to look and see what my final weight was. I think it was around 2,100. Well, Hozak did good. I wanted 2,000. Well, basically my blend, and I needed 2,000 pounds, and there's basically 2,000 pounds in there. So let's get to the field, get this taken care of before I run out of daylight. All right, I think we're good to go. That's set at 2.5. Hold on here, let me check my math on my gate opening. Oh, hold on, Shelly texted me. All right, Shelly texted me. The guy I rent the ground from showed up because he lost a part off of his tractor. He wanted me to keep an eye out for everything happening all at once. So where was I at? Oh yeah, basically 2,000 pounds in the box divided by 8 acres, 250 pounds an acre. We're just going to shoot at 240 just because it's a round number, and the next jump up to 270. Basically figuring at 60 pounds. Gates open 4 inches. Sprockets are a small sprocket on the big sprocket, which is the 1160, which is that. So we should be good to go. And I apologize, we're not going to probably move the camera around a whole lot because one, it's only 8 acres, it's not going to take me that long in a 50-foot spot, and B, we're going to run out of daylight pretty quick. So real quick and see how we're doing. The pile was not that big to begin with. Oh yeah, we're good. It seems to be doing a good job of spreading. You can watch the fan, it seems to be fairly even. I think the wheat on this side of the road looks better than the wheat on the other side of the road. And neither one of them's a bad looking wheat field. I'm glad I decided to put this stuff out here because I was kind of leery about it at first. Open you. That's a little better probably. Job off the list. Naturally, I ran out of fertilizer with like half a round left to go. That would figure. But doesn't take that stuff long to sandblast the paint right off the paddles now, does it? But what was I saying? Oh yeah, nothing broke, nothing fell off. Spread pattern was good, so it was only a ton in there, so didn't really test the frame none, but I'm not worried about the frame, at least for now. So should be good to go. Sorry we didn't stay more at the field, but like I say, we're running. I probably only got about 15 minutes of daylight, maybe 20 left, so I wanted to get back before it got dark on me, because I don't like, especially this time of year, don't like running in the dark down the road. So anyhow, I think that should do it for today. So that's it for this one. We'll catch you guys on the next one.